The letter was written in my handwriting. I have to get this out somewhere. I don't know who I can talk to, and honestly, I'm scared. A few days ago, I found this letter. And the terrifying part is, it's written in my handwriting, but I have no memory of writing it. And what it told me to do, what I found, I think I'm losing my mind, or maybe I've already lost it. What if I did something terrible, and my own brain is just trying to shield me from what I've done? Section 1. Before all this started, my life was quiet, almost painfully normal. I live alone in the house I grew up in. It's a 2-story place, way too big for just me, with a backyard that slopes down into a thick, messy line of woods. My days just had a rhythm, you know? A comfortable, predictable routine. Wake up, work from home, make dinner, maybe read a bit, go to sleep. The silence of the house was like an old friend. The creak of a floorboard, the hum of the fridge. They were just the sounds of home, sounds that meant everything was okay. I really found peace in that predictability. I thought my life was built on solid ground. My garden was my one real project. I'd spend hours out back, pulling weeds, planting things, just feeling the sun on my back. It was my little sanctuary, the one place where I felt totally in control. The world could be a mess, but in my small patch of dirt, I decided what lived and what died. That feeling of control just feels like a sick joke now. Section 2. I found the letter on Tuesday. I was just reorganizing a bookshelf in the living room, dusting off old paperbacks I hadn't laid a finger on in years. It was tucked inside this book with a faded blue cover, one I don't even remember reading. The paper felt thick, old, and it was folded into a neat little square. At first, I figured it was something from college, maybe an old note or a grocery list. But when I unfolded it, my breath just caught in my throat. It was my handwriting, unmistakably. I know my own handwriting. I know how I loop my G's and the sharp way I cross my T's. It was all there, a perfect copy of how I write every single day. And yet, I have absolutely no memory of putting a pen to this piece of paper. My heart started pounding, this slow, heavy drum against my ribs. And then I read it. It wasn't really a letter, it was an order. Just 2 words, written right in the middle of the page in my own familiar, but suddenly alien script. It said, "Dig here." And right below the words was a crude, scribbled map of my own backyard, with a big X marked near the old oak tree at the edge of the woods. Section 3. My first reaction was just confusion. I actually laughed. It was this short, nervous sound that felt completely out of place in the quiet house. It had to be a prank, right? Maybe a friend somehow copied my handwriting. But who would do that? And why? Nothing about it made sense. I tried to explain it away. Maybe I wrote it years ago for some stupid game or a story I was working on, and then I just completely forgot about it. Yeah, that had to be it. I was just being paranoid. I folded the note, my fingers trembling a little, and just left it on the kitchen counter. I tried to get back to my day, to force myself back into that comfortable routine. But my mind just kept replaying it. The feel of the paper, the dark black ink, my own handwriting. The more I tried to just forget it, the deeper it dug its claws into me. I felt this growing dread, like a low hum I couldn't get out of my head. Every time I looked out the kitchen window, my eyes went straight to the oak tree, to that patch of grass marked on the map. It felt like the whole house was holding its breath, just waiting. Section 4. For the next 2 days, I was at war with myself. It was a quiet kind of torture. The logical part of my brain was screaming that this was insane. It's just a piece of paper, a weird, unsettling coincidence, but that's all. Digging would be ridiculous. What would I even be looking for? It's my backyard. I know every inch of it. But then there was this other voice in my head, a darker, more insistent one. It just kept whispering those same 2 words. Dig here. The command on the paper started to feel less like a weird joke and more like a genuine compulsion. I'd catch myself just standing at the back door, staring at that spot. It was like I was tied to a rope that was slowly, but surely, pulling me toward it. I couldn't focus on work. Food didn't taste like anything. Sleep was no escape either. My dreams were filled with images of upturned earth, and this feeling that something was waiting right below the surface. The letter just sat there on the counter, this silent, mocking reminder that my sanity was cracking. I started to think I wouldn't get a moment's peace until I just listened. Until I dug. Section 5. On the third night, I broke. The sun had set, and the sky was this bruised purple and orange color before it all faded into a starless, heavy black. A storm was rolling in. I could smell the rain on the wind and hear the thunder rumbling in the distance. It felt appropriate. I figured if I was going to do something this crazy, I might as well do it in the dark with a storm coming. I pulled on my old raincoat, grabbed the rusty spade from the shed, and walked into the backyard. The air was thick and damp. Every step felt huge, like I was surrendering to the madness. I found the spot by the oak tree. The X from the map was burned into my memory. The first time the shovel plunged into the soft, damp earth, it was the loudest sound I'd ever heard. It felt like I had crossed a line. I dug with this frantic energy, not because I wanted to find something, but because I just wanted it to be over. I wanted to find nothing, to prove to myself this was all some stupid fantasy. Shovelful after shovelful of dirt went flying. The hole got deeper. My muscles screamed and sweat started mixing with the first few drops of rain. And that's when it happened. With a sickening thud, the spade hit something hard. It wasn't the sound of hitting a rock. It was a hollow, resonant crack. Section 6. My blood ran cold. I dropped to my knees in the mud, not even caring that it was soaking through my jeans. The rain was coming down harder now, plastering my hair to my face. With my hands shaking, I started clawing at the loose dirt around the object. My fingers brushed against something smooth, and in its shape, it was impossibly, terrifyingly familiar. It was a bone. I scrambled backward, a choked gasp escaping my throat. The beam from my flashlight was shaking all over the place as I pointed it back into the shallow hole. It wasn't just one bone. As my eyes adjusted to the sight, I could make out the distinct, horrifying outline of a human skeleton curled up in the fetal position. The rain was washing away the dirt, revealing more of it. The curve of a rib cage, the delicate bones of a hand. And then the light landed on the skull. It was turned slightly on its side, its empty eye sockets staring straight up at the stormy sky. A scream was building in my chest, but it was trapped. It was just this silent, agonizing pressure. This couldn't be real. This wasn't happening. This was my yard, my sanctuary. And I had just dug up a grave that my own hand, apparently, told me to find. Section 7. I honestly don't remember getting back inside the house. The next few minutes are a complete blur of mud and rain and the metallic taste of fear in my mouth. I remember standing in the kitchen, dripping all over the floor, shaking so hard I could barely stand up. My eyes landed on the letter, still sitting on the counter. It looked different now, sinister. It looked like a confession. I picked it up. The handwriting was mine. There was no question. But looking at it now, it was like I was staring at the writing of a stranger, a monster who just happens to have my face. How? How could I have possibly written this? How could I have known what was buried out there? Flashes of memories that don't feel like mine are popping into my head. The heavy feeling of a shovel, the smell of fresh dirt from a long, long time ago. Are they real memories? Or is my mind just making them up now, trying to fill in this terrifying blank space? I'm the one who lives here. I'm the one who tends this garden. The past is literally erupting from the ground, and it's pointing a bony finger right at me. Section 8. And so here I am. The hole is still out there, hidden under a tarp. The letter is in my pocket, and I am completely and utterly trapped. I look in the mirror, and I don't know who's looking back at me. Am I the victim of some incredibly cruel, elaborate prank? Or am I the kind of person who could bury a body in their own backyard and then erase it so completely from their mind that the only thing left is a cryptic 2-word command? Every creak the house makes now sounds like an accusation. The silence I used to love now just feels heavy with an unspoken secret. I'm lost, and I'm terrified of what I might remember next. So I have to ask you, because I have no one else to turn to. What would you do? Would you call the police, knowing that this letter in your own handwriting makes you the prime suspect? Would you risk taking the fall for a crime you don't even remember committing? Or would you just keep digging? Not in the dirt, but into your own fractured mind to try and understand how you could have written a letter you don't remember. Let me know what you think I should do in the comments below. Share your theories. Right now, I need any help I can get. And if you want to know what happens next, make sure to subscribe.